So now that you have taken the attachment assessment, you may wonder what the results mean. Let's take a look. Attachment theory and research finds that there are two fundamental ways that people differ from each other, the way they think about their close relationships, with anxiety or with avoidance. Avoidance or anxiety can be experienced across a spectrum of high or low levels. Some people are more anxious than others and tend to worry that others do not truly love them. These people fear rejection and have attachment-related anxiety. People who are preoccupied in their relationships are worried that the other person is not or will not be available when needed. They would like to depend on the other person and have that person depend on them, but feel that such dependence is not reciprocal. Those who are less worried about this are in the lower dimension of anxiety. They would fall into the more securely attached domain. Other people are more avoidant than others. Those who are high in avoidance are less comfortable depending on and opening up to others. These people have attachment-related avoidance. People who are dismissing in their relationships are also not comfortable opening up to others and depending on or having others depend on them. In addition, they are not concerned with the question of whether or not a person truly cares about them. Those who are high in anxiety and high in avoidance are more disorganized in their attachment style and present as both fearful and avoidant in their attachment relationships. People who are fearfully avoidant in their relationships are uncomfortable depending on others and serving as an attachment figure. Moreover, they worry that others may not be there emotionally when they are most needed. Those who have secure attachment have low levels of anxiety and low levels of avoidance. These individuals feel safe and secure in their attachment relationships, which is the healthiest and most desired attachment style. People with secure attachment tend to have been raised in a home with parents who gave their children boundaries in a firm, fair, and loving way. These parents provided an atmosphere of shared power, communication, guidance, and natural consequences, which taught their children to self-regulate, make decisions, learn from their mistakes, and to trust themselves and others. This type of parenting style is authoritative. Other parenting styles are permissive, authoritarian, and neglectful. Permissive parents are more likely to take on a friendship role rather than a parenting role with their kids. They prefer to avoid conflict and will often acquiesce to their children's pleas at the first sign of distress. These parents mostly allow their children to do what they want to do and offer limited guidance or direction. These children become dismissing attached related adults and have a high degree of avoidance. Authoritarian is a rigid parenting style, which uses stern discipline, often justified as tough love. In an attempt to be in full control, authoritarian parents will talk to their children without wanting input or feedback. Their children tend to have a high degree of anxiety and form a preoccupied or anxious attachment style in adulthood. Sometimes referred to as uninvolved parenting, this style is exemplified by an overall sense of indifference. Neglectful parents have limited engagement with their children and rarely implement rules. They can also be seen as cold and uncaring, but not always intentionally, as they are often struggling with their own issues. There are times when the parent becomes explosive, controlling, and authoritarian, causing great confusion and fear. This creates a fearful avoidant, also called disorganized attachment, as these adults have a high degree of avoidance and a high degree of anxiety in their attachment style. In parenting and attachment, individual attachment styles and the couple's attachment pairing matter for parenting behavior. If a father has a preoccupied attachment with anxious tendencies, or a dismissing attachment with avoidant tendencies, his parenting quality is protected by a secure, authoritative mother. But the secure mother's authoritative parenting style will be negatively impacted by the father's avoidant, permissive, or anxious authoritarian parenting style. This can be due to the conflict and tension created by differing parenting styles or a wife's deference to the husband. A person whose attachment style is avoidant will be more averse to the high demands of parenting, which requires constant attention and interpersonal participation. An avoidant person will be more apt to find this difficult and have less patience with the rigors of parenthood. This can create tension between parenting partners, as one may feel they are doing more of the parenting and are not receiving the help or support they feel is fair. This can also create in the parent who is carrying more of the parenting load overwhelm, resentment, and anger towards the parent, but projected on the child. Mothers with a more insecure attachment style express more negative views of the child. Insecure attachment refers to any attachment style outside of secure attachment. Avoidant mothers who, in general, are not comfortable in relationships and tend to avoid closeness find it uncomfortable and perhaps annoying to have to provide 24/7 nurture and care for a child, thus making the parenting experience less enjoyable or satisfying. They go on their default mode of avoiding or becoming averse to giving the child comfort. Avoidant mothers might find parenting overwhelming and exhausting, while anxious mothers are concerned that they are not parenting well. They remain in a state of fear or high alert that they are somehow failing at motherhood, especially if the child misbehaves. She may then receive judgment or condemnation. Her concern may be having compliant children, which reassures her that she's not being judged and is doing a good job as a mother. Research has found that most individuals have secure attachment. This suggests that more individuals grew up in a stable, loving home with authoritative parents. Further studies have shown that individuals with secure attachment style marry other individuals with secure attachment style, and those with insecure attachment styles are matched with the opposite insecure attachment style, meaning dismissive avoidant individuals most often pair with preoccupied anxious mates. This dynamic can cause a difficult environment for parenting. Individuals can become insecure in their attachment style through emotional support, making sense of past experiences, altering negative self-perceptions, and making deliberate changes in thought patterns and behaviors. It is important to best prepare oneself for parenthood to give your marriage, family, and child the best possible long-term outcomes. To learn more about becoming insecure, you can go to attachmentproject.com and learn more. You and your spouse's attachment styles are indicative of how you may parent your child. Learning more about your attachment styles and how they may impact the other is an important part of preparing for adoptive parenthood.